Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast. You'll hear from players, coaches, broadcasters, and writers that cover the NFL on a daily basis. The New Orleans Saints podcast starts right now. Here's your host, Erin Summers.
I've said it so many times, like I want to be here. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. These fans, this organization. Just my career here. I think it's the icing on the cake to be able to say that I won't really have to go anywhere else to play football. Just leave it all here. So thankful for the organization to be able to get this done.
Lots of news already this week as running back Alvin Kamara signed his new deal with the Saints. AK will now be here through the 2026 season. Kamara is the franchise's all-time leader in total touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, yards from scrimmage, and all-purpose yards.
This city's been loyal to me. This organization's been loyal to me. I don't feel like I would get this same feeling that I get putting on the fleur-de-lis anywhere else.
This year, Kamara leads the Saints with 438 rushing yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, and 34 receptions. He also leads the NFL with 145 touches. He's fourth in the NFL with 690 total yards and has 7 total touchdowns. That is tied for third most in the NFL.
I'm so focused on just playing, and that's been my whole MO. When I said it in camp, I'm not as much worried about a contract. I'll worry about it after the season, but obviously we got it done. But I'm just worried about now kind of trying to turn things around and trying to get it going in the right direction, because I think we got a lot of talent. I think we got a lot of ability, and we're capable of doing something good here. So it don't feel good losing 5 in a row. We got to flip it around.
There was another player signing paperwork on Tuesday, and it was wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling, as the Saints added another playmaker to the fold.
It was great to get back out there and move around a little bit. Trying to pick up the offense, learning a new system. It's very similar to the offense that I had when I was in Green Bay a couple years ago. So there's some carryover there. I'm just excited, man. Trying to bring a spark to this team. They started off hot, 2-0. Dropped the last 5 games, so just want to be able to come in and contribute any way I can.
MVS joined the team on the field Wednesday, as did a lot of players that have been on the Saints injured list. Chris Olave, Pete Werner, Lucas Patrick, Cesar Ruiz, and Taysom Hill. The return of several key players has brought a little more energy to the practices. Offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak is really excited about getting Hill back in the mix.
It's not even to me, it's just to the whole group. He's got a lot of experience. He's got a lot of juice to him. Maybe not so much verbally, but just when he's on the field and when he takes a handoff or he makes a block, he's all ball all the time, and it's good to have him back.
Quarterback Derek Carr, however, has yet to practice since his oblique injury, which means rookie Spencer Rattler will get his 3rd straight start.
It's a constant grind every single day. First few starts, a lot of things I could do better. Happy with a lot of the stuff as a group, personally as well, but a lot of area to improve. So that this week, just focusing on improving on all the little things, really honing in on my craft and, just trying to be the best for this team. We had 3 games in, I think it was 11 days, especially with a lot of young guys including myself, making our first few starts. There's going to be bumps in the road, but we got to find a way to make it work. I think having a full week of rest, getting guys back, getting your body back, your mental back, is going to be great for us.
While the Saints have been dealing with injuries, especially in the wide receiver room, other players have had to step up, like undrafted rookie Mason Tipton. I was able to catch up with Tipton, get to know him a little bit better, and hear about his first season so far in the NFL. Mason, thanks for joining me on the New Orleans Saints podcast. It's awesome to have you here, get to know you a little bit better since we've been seeing you on the field a little bit more. How have things been going?
It's been good. Obviously we've had some struggles, but, it's all been valuable experience, and I think, we're going to get through this rough patch. So, like I said, it's been great. It's been a great experience.
Last week you had the most receptions that you've had so far this season. How has it been getting a little more action and more involved in the offense?
It's been great. I think the bottom line is just taking advantage of, the opportunities and, continue to just get better week by week, day by day, and, just trying to maximize, the opportunities.
Who have you been leaning on throughout this rookie season of yours?
She's been great. Seb Wilson's been great, and CO's been great. So they've all kind of, gave me game. Just subtle things, whether it's a route or just how to take care of my body off the field. They've been instrumental in just trying to help me out wherever I can, wherever they can. So I would say those three guys have been great leaders.
What's one aspect of maybe something you had to learn or something you had to get used to at the NFL level that you didn't expect?
I don't know. I don't know if it was necessarily something I didn't expect. I think, without having school, it's just there's just more time that we have to dedicate to to football, and I think just kind of using my time better. So that I don't have any MAs or I know exactly what coverage the defense is going to run. I think that, kind of putting more time into film study and just putting more time into football in general is kind of what I've adjusted to since not having, like I said, school.
MAs is missed assignments?
Correct.
All
correct.
right.
My bad. Short, yeah. Slang term, my bad.
I know, but you went to Yale, so pretty tough workload, I'm sure, as far as school goes.
Oh, yeah.
How did you balance all that?
I had to learn time management real quick. Just as soon as I got there as a freshman, it was, very obvious that, I had to dedicate my time to make sure I got school done. And then obviously I wanted to dominate on the field. So, I just had to learn how to time manage.
What went into your decision to go there?
Honestly, it was pretty late on in the recruiting process. I was a senior. I was deciding between Kent State and Yale, two very different schools. I lived about 30 minutes from Kent State, and kind of Yale was obviously far, Connecticut. It really came down to my mom really made me take the visit. I really wasn't gonna even look at it. I'd never kind of thought about playing in the Ivy League, but my mom was always the academic of the family, and she was always on us for so. She's like, mate, you're going to take the visit at least. So I took it, and I ended up, loving it. So rest is history.
Your mom's the academic, and your dad played football.
My dad played football, correct.
What was that relationship like growing up, playing the sport that your dad did?
It was great. I mean, he coached me in almost everything. So he was, taking me to games, coaching me at the games, taking me back. A lot of great experiences that I'm super fortunate to have, growing up. He was, like I said, he was always a rock and teaching me everything I know.
You played baseball growing up as well. What position?
Center field.
Okay, so use your speed out there.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. And then when you went to Yale, you dealt with the COVID year where they completely canceled the season. How was that?
That was it was weird.
Yeah.
I guess that fall 2020 was when they canceled, and I was a sophomore. Yale kind of decided that all sophomores at Yale couldn't even be on campus.
Okay.
So, some of my teammates and I, we kind of just found housing in New Haven and, kind of trained to the side while, the rest of the team was able to do some stuff, like all the sophomores that could get together and train. So my quarterback at the time was a sophomore. So, it was weird. We had to kind of find certain ways to, get our work in while not violating any of the Yale policy rules. It was a very interesting time.
You settled in, though, as you were able to get back onto campus. When did things really start to click for you there?
I would probably say, each year at Yale, I think I learned something for sure. I started as a freshman and kind of having a smaller role but contributing, and then, kind of growing in those years to finally get to my senior. I think my sophomore year we were 5-5, and you learn a lot when you lose. So that was a huge year for me as far as personal growth, learning what I needed to do differently off the field, preparing for the season, and I just think there's always a lot of lessons you can take from losing, and I think that's honestly what propelled me to start taking the next steps.
What have you learned from this losing streak that the Saints are on?
You got to keep going. You know what I mean? You got to kind of look back, look in the mirror, see what you can do differently, and tighten the screw so that, you just keep getting better. I think sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle when you lose so many games. especially like we are on the, in a row right now. I just think it's super important that, we just look in the mirror. All right, this is what we're doing wrong. It's got to be fixed. So this has to be done differently, change a habit, and tighten the screws. And I think that's, what's going to get us out of it.
During your draft process, you obviously run 4.33 40 at your pro day at Yale. Was that the fastest that you'd ever run it?
I ran a 4.31 training, and I want to say there were some scouts that had me in like low 4.31, 4.33 range at the pro day. Okay. So, I had ran it before training. So, honestly, I just was happy that, I ran my best time, when it counted.
Yeah, absolutely. So that got you on the map a little bit. People started looking at you for your speed. Saints had you come for a workout and Cleveland, correct?
No, we didn't do any workouts. That was where I had the most interest.
Gotcha. Okay. But you're from Ohio.
I am.
And you didn't want to go to the Browns.
Yeah. It was a little more than that. I think kind of looking at the receiver rooms and where I felt I fit the most. Especially with Clint's offense. I think this offense is more conducive to my play style as far as speed down the field and longer routes down the field. I think there was things like that definitely contributed to my decision, and obviously I prayed about it, and I felt like this was the place.
How much did you look at a player like Rashid Shaheed, who was undrafted and has been utilized for his speed here?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I try to pick up as much as what she does and add it to my own, to my own bag, and like I said, he's been extremely helpful for me, just growing in my game and him telling me about the things he did, he does and things that he went through. So, he's a huge leader for me.
Within that time frame, you got drafted by the UFL, right?
Yeah,
so how does that work?
Honestly, I didn't pay any attention to it because, this is my only focus.
Yeah.
So, I honestly, I don't know. But
so did somebody call you and be like, hey, we just drafted you?
Honestly, somebody, I want to say a relative texted me about it. I had no idea. So, to be honest, it just like showed up on my phone one day. I was like, oh. But, I think around that time we were in OTA, so my focus was nowhere else but, here. So.
Okay. So you didn't even have to say, did you say, like, no, I'm good?
I didn't even acknowledge it. So,
interesting.
It is interesting. I had no idea. Like I said, it just was kind of something I saw and I was like, oh, okay. And then went about my day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How have you settled in here in New Orleans?
It's been great. I want to say it's been
different than Ohio.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's hot, but it's starting to cool off. But yeah, the city's been great to me, so I have no complaints.
When you got hurt during training camp, was there a moment where you were unsure of what was going to happen?
I think any time where things are kind of out of your control, especially with an injury and you can't prove yourself every day, I think that was a hard moment. Just like I said, nothing you can control. But honestly, I just was praying, and just trusting that things were going to work out the way they were supposed to. And I thank God that that's what happened.
There are some other players that went to Yale in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Do you keep up with any of them?
Yeah. Actually, versus the Broncos, there's a captain of Yale. I want to say in 2022. He's there. Another left tackle that played at Yale is also there, so I was able to see those guys after the game. So it's cool to see them. Rodney Thomas is with the Colts. He's a safety. And then, out of this draft class also, Karan got drafted to the Bears.
Yeah.
So, I keep in touch with all of them. They're all great guys. We're all pretty close.
Yeah, that's really fun to be able to have some other guys out there.
For sure.
What's the mascot again for Yale?
Oh, Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs.
But there's something else that they say. Like, what's another nickname?
I want to say Eli.
Okay, I saw that.
Yeah,
What is that? Don't know.
I think Yale is rich in tradition, so we always we sang the song and said Eli, but I was Yale Bulldogs. That's all I really knew.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you like to do outside of football?
I'm honestly real simple. When I go home, I like to watch, shows. I like movies. I like playing, PS5. I don't really do much else, especially around this time, when like I said,
Sure.
I learned how to put a lot of time into film and that type of stuff. I like to relax.
Mm-hmm. What kind of movies do you like?
I want to say I have a pretty wide, horizon of movies, but I'd be lying.
Okay, so I'm picturing like rom-com.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I like rom-coms.
No, that's not it?
Yeah, I'm more action-based.
Sure.
I like thrillers. I like comedies. If I hear it's a good movie, I'll give it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, and my family are big movie heads. So, if I'll ask them about this movie, they'll be like, "How have you not seen that yet?"
Yeah.
So they, my dad, my brothers, they all put me on the good movies.
I think Anthony Orgy goes to movies every night.
I might gotta check up with him.
I literally see him on social media every night taking a picture of himself at the movie theater.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
That's maybe you can go hang out, watch
That's
the movies
one way
with
to
him.
Relax.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a story during training camp that you were going to go to the movies with Juwan Johnson.
It's very true.
And you couldn't go.
I couldn't go.
Why?
Well, rookies have curfew, so unfortunately I wasn't able to. I don't remember what we were going to go see, but unfortunately we weren't able to make it happen. But I want to say we're going to get that done.
Yeah.
We're going to get that done. So another guy, Juwan, has been great as far as kind of mentoring me and giving me bits and pieces. So thankful for Juwan too.
Is it weird that you had a curfew at this age?
I respect team policy. You know what I mean? I don't think. Do I think it's weird? I don't know. It was what kind of they told us. So I don't mind following rules. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's been one moment since you've been in the NFL? Maybe it was the first game that you got to play that you're like, man, like I'm here. I'm doing it.
I think probably the first game. When I was able to get my first snap. I step on the field. My parents were there, and
Mm-hmm.
I just think when talking to my dad after the game, and he was able to watch me on the field. I think that was a big moment because obviously he was the one who kind of raised me, coached me. My mom was at the game, so and they're watching me. I think that was probably that moment.
Yeah. What position did he play?
He was a defensive back.
Okay.
So, yeah, kind of two sides of the coin.
You still probably had some speed though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Are you circling any games coming up?
Honestly, no. I'm trying to take it day by day. Like I said, just focus on one day at a time.
Even though the Cleveland one's coming.
I do know the Cleveland one's coming. I think I'll have a lot of people coming for that. But like I said, day by day.
Yeah, busy schedules because your wide receiver room, special teams. How has that been, kind of going back and forth between the two?
I mean, it's been great. I'm just trying to learn as much as I can, apply as much as I can, and execute my job. So grateful for it all.
All right, well, we're looking forward to seeing you again on the field this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate Mason sitting down talking to me for a little while between some of his meetings, and definitely looking forward to seeing him and the team out there against the Chargers on Sunday. We'll get into a little bit more about that matchup in Friday's episode of the New Orleans Saints podcast. I definitely appreciate everyone listening today. And don't forget, this NFL season, you can feel every play, every hit, every moment with the Sony 1000 XM5 noise-canceling headphones, the official headphones of the New Orleans Saints. With premium noise cancellation, you are in the zone. There are no distractions, just pure football. Whether you're in your living room or on the go, you'll never miss a beat with Sony headphones. Go grab yourself a pair and get ready for the next episode of the New Orleans Saints podcast coming at you on Friday.
Thanks for listening to the New Orleans Saints podcast. Join us 3 times per week on NewOrleansSaints.com, the Saints mobile app, or you can download the podcast on iTunes. We'll see you next time, right here on the New Orleans Saints podcast.